Today I'm going to show you how to make an articulated hand, a very basic model. It's not the prettiest thing in the world, but it's very accessible and easy for students to create in the classroom, and it takes very minimal supplies that are pretty much readily available. You're going to need some cardboard, you're going to need straws, you're going to need string. This is not an absolute necessity, but the plastic banding, I'll tell you where to get that later. And you're going to need tape and scissors and a stir stick. And Sherwin-Williams is usually really excited about helping out, making donations, so these things can be made in my classroom. All right, let's get started. All right, so overall the template is 50 centimeters long from top to bottom, with the corrugation and the cardboard running long ways. The overall width is 10.5 centimeters, and then it gets divided into two sections. There's a section for the fingers, and there's a section that becomes the arm and the palm. So 3 fingers, and then here's the thumb, and there are the measurements for each of the fingers. So that's the overall template. And here is a model that is ready to cut. Alright, now we got the fingers separated from the arm. Go ahead and separate the individual fingers. I find it best to take a ruler and lay the ruler down on each of the dotted lines. And that gives you nice creases in the fingers. And for the thumb, and then I like to work the finger joints to make sure that they bend nicely. And the shorter section of each of the fingers, from the dotted line to the end, is going to be the portion that gets stapled to the arm section. Takes a little bit of force to get through it. And this is a right-handed model, so the thumb will go on this side. Again, with a little bit of force. Alright, so once those are attached, I go ahead and I place a square on the back to keep the fingers from coming loose whenever they're flexed. And to do that, I just place a good run of hot glue onto the back and press and hold just for a few seconds so it gets a nice solid attachment. To give the arm overall rigidity, I just use a paint stick. I had a bunch of them donated from Sherwin-Williams for my classes. and that way when you go to flex the arm, it doesn't crumble. This can act as the bone, of course. Press and hold. Should be nice and sturdy at that point. All right, so that's the beginnings of the articulated hand. All right, so from here we attach the straws. I just like to pick them up with the tape right about smack in the middle, and they get attached to each of the finger segments and give the tape a little bit of a mash. Okay. Fold one side around, then the other. Trying to keep them in line this way as they come down as best as I can. Give the tape a good mash without collapsing the straws, because when we go to put the strings through these things, we want to make sure the string goes nice and easy. All right. There are the 6 straw sections. Next, we're going to attach the 4 palm sections, and you're going to use a longer piece of tape for these because it's nice if the tape can go all the way around the back side of the palm. So the first 2 straws are going to go just above the thumb. Staying in line with the straws above. Have those 2. And then the next 2 need to go at the base of the thumb, but still in line with the straws that are above. So just below the thumb, but still in line with the straws that are above, as best as you can get it. Okay. All right. Next would be to add the tape for the thumb. This can be a little tricky. You have to bend the thumb up in order to get the tape to travel around the back side. And there's one. And here is the last one. All right, so that's all the different taped straw sections added. Next, we're going to add the string to the straws. And if you take small little bits of tape and tape over the ends of the string, it's really going to help to keep the string from fraying whenever you put it through the straws. My students have informed me that these are called aglets. So tape both ends, and starting from the tip, you're going to work your way downward through each section of straw. Alright, so once you've strung both of the long fingers, leave the little taped bit just at the top, and then you're going to want to fold that over at the tip and take a piece of tape and tape that section down so that when the fingers are engaged, it won't pull free. So go ahead and tape both of those taped sections over. That holds nice and tight. Give it a good mash down so you know it's held in tight there. And the next section to string is going to be the thumb. The thumb is the one that can be a little tricky to string, and there's a little bit of a different path from the other two that the thumb follows. It goes through the main two, and I found that tweezers can help press through any difficult sections of straw. So it comes through, and then this one actually passes through this section of palm right here. So it kind of doubles up with the other one. And just like before, you're going to pull it through until you get to the taped end. You're going to stop and double the little taped bit over and tape down nice and hard right there so it doesn't come free. And as it is so far, you can give any of the strings a tug and you have a finger that flexes and bends whenever the muscles are engaged. So now we're going to get to where we place the arm band and a cardboard band at the base of the model, so there's a place to put your arm through, which gives resistance when you engage the strings, and also gives you a place to hook your hand, so your hand has a place to rest. For the plastic band, I just used plastic hanger strap from Lowe's. It was fairly cheap to get a 50-foot roll. And the section you're going to cut is going to be 22 centimeters for the hand hold. For the arm hold, I use a section of cardboard that is 27 centimeters long and 5 centimeters wide. Alright, and I know where to mount these when I'm making multiple models, because I've made a little template that I set beside the models for gluing. The cardboard band that goes at the base goes up 3 centimeters from the bottom, roughly, and the plastic band from the cardboard band here goes up 11 centimeters. So I just take my little guide, put it to the side, put on some hot glue, take the band, give it a little bend so it's flexible, and it gets glued into place. And I'll just hold it here for a second to make sure it sticks. Alright, next comes the plastic band. And for the plastic band, I like to have 2 little tiny squares that give me a pressing point so the hot glue doesn't burn my fingers. So I'll place a little hot glue on each side, lining it up over here with my template. And I take the plastic band and I give it a little bit of a bend that has a memory to it so it'll stay in a nice form. Hook one side here, press down with the square, nice and firm, and hold it. And likewise with the other side, and you end up having the plastic banding for the arm holds. So once the glue has dried and is ready, it's time to create the hoops for the fingers to be engaged and moved. So if you take the strings and line up the outside finger over here with your ring finger, you can create a hoop with the string, and it'll be kind of tight like a guitar string. And it's best if you have 2 people to help with this stage. You can go from beneath, bring the 2 sides together, And put a little bit of the tape over first, and then wrap the tape around until you run out of tape. So once you've done the other 2 hoops, making sure that it's nice and tight, and that when you're tying those hoops or making those hoops, you don't have your finger flex too much, but your finger's nice and stretched out when you're getting the size for it. So once you have all 3 hoops created, you have an articulated hand that is able to be moved, and you can even do little challenges with it, like having students try and pick things up and move things, so that maybe they have a little bit of an understanding for how challenging it can be for people with prosthetic arms to learn how to use that new tool. And there is your articulated hand.